Hi, Diane Evans here with StampinWithDiane.com. I'm an independent Canadian Stampin' Up demonstrator. Now, if this is your first time joining me on my YouTube channel, make sure that you do subscribe and also hit the bell. And the bell is just down below here, and you'll get notified every time I upload a new video. So today what I wanted to do was I wanted to focus on spring, but I also wanted to show you a really cool stamp set that is unfortunately retiring. It's this Inspiring Irises, and up until the other day I hadn't used this stamp set, and I had all good intentions to use it, but I hadn't used it up until that time. And it's this one that I'm actually going to focus on, is this iris. I'm going to make a very, very simple fold card, and it's a slider card, but I'm going to show you how simple it can really be made, and how simple it is simple stamping, where all I'm using is the stamps, the ink, and the paper. All right, so let me just show you how I go about that. Like I say, I am using these particular stamp sets. This is a two-step stamping. So what I have is I have my card base, and it's So Saffron, and it's 5.5 by 8.5. I'm going to show you how to score that. I have a piece of basic white, and it's going to go in the inside, which is 4 by 5.25. And all my measurements will be linked to my blog post that's down below. So if you don't catch them in the video, you can just go to the link and you can get the videos from there as well. Now I decided to use my stitched shape dies, and I've got one in Pear Pizzazz, and it measures 3 inches by 4.25, I believe. And then this one is 1/4 of an inch smaller on there. And this is what we're going to be doing our stamping on. And then I also have 4 pieces of basic white. Now, a lot of people, when they've done this slider card, if they've used just a square, they'll use these into squares. But because mine are rectangles, I wanted them to be a little bit longer so that it doesn't flip. I find if they're short 2 by 2 squares or 2.5 by 2.5 squares that most people are using, that it doesn't lie down as flat. Okay, so I have 4 of those, and they're measured at 2 by 3.25 inches, and 2 of them I've measured and cut and scored at 1 inch on the short side there. And then I do have some Designer Series paper. It's 1 7/8 by 5.25, and this is from our Fine Art Floral Designer Series paper, but I wanted something that had the So Saffron paper there as well. And then I also turned around and I used this stitched label die, and this is from the Hydrangea dies. I love this particular one, and I tend to cut out an awful lot of them and just have them sitting on my desk to use. All right, so let me bring in my score, and I will show you how I go and score this. So I'm scoring, so I'm going to get my blade out of the way, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to score on the long side. I'm going to score at 2 1/8. We want to make sure it's good up to the top, and then we're just going to score. And I'm going to hit that a couple of times. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn this around and score it again at 2 1/4. And that's all the scoring that you really need to do for this card. Just like that. Then we're going to fold. Normally I would say fold into the mountain. I want this good and tight, so I might be folding the other way, which I did do. Just bringing in my bone folder. We want to make sure we got a good score line there. And there we go. Now, I got to see. I want a bit of a gap, so maybe it is better to go this way into the mountain. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to layer these 2 pieces on there as well. Just shows when you are looking for Designer Series paper to match the paper that you're using, you can go in and check out the other beautiful sides, or check out the other sides of the beautiful sides of Designer Series paper. Does that make sense? I knew that this had So Saffron in this Fine Art Floral paper, so that's when I decided that I just got to use this paper in a different way. And we're just going to put that one down there as well. There we go. So there we have the front of our card. Pretty simple. And on the inside, we're going to stamp that as well. But I'm going to bring this in. And because these stamps are photopolymer, I'm going to use my paper piercing mat. This is not showing up in the annual catalog, but it will be in the new one. So, all right. Originally, what I was thinking of doing was I was going to stamp this with Memento, but it looks so much better when it's stamped actually with Pear Pizzazz, and then just do the double stamping inside. So I'm just going to take this image, and we're just going to put it right on here. Like I say, I could have masked this. I could have done a lot of different things with it, but I decided to go with a very, very simple stamp, or simple stamping, just to show you how simple it really is to stamp this. All right, so now there's also a coordinating stamp that goes with this. Now at first, when I saw this, and I'll show you this, I thought this looked like a bulrush, which it could be used as a bulrush. I have those in my pond, but I also have these beautiful irises in my pond. But this part here goes right up into this part here to show the green on there. So I'm just going to bring, it's quite easy to line up. And I say that, and now I'm having issues lining this up. But there we go. I think that's going to be pretty close. And now what we're going to do is we're going to use our So Saffron, and we're going to stamp the flowers themselves. Now this is supposed to look like watercoloring when you use this type of stamping. Let's see, that's the wrong way. It goes this way. And how I find that is this little bit there and this part of the iris. Now, if you want, you could go ahead and you could color these with blends. But I just wanted to show how simple it is just to use a stamp. There we go. There's our irises. Now, this would look gorgeous if you had, if you went and did some coloring with the blends. It would look great if you had masked this and had more irises on there. But I decided to go very, very simple. So this is going to go on here. So I'm going to pop this up with dimensionals. And always when you have this big of an image or piece, you want to make sure that you do go into the center so that it doesn't dip, right? So let me grab my, oh gee, I thought I had my take your pick tool right here. I do. Okay, so let's just go take these off. And let's put that right onto the front of the card, like so. Now, the other part is, I decided that I wanted, I wasn't sure what I was going to use this card for, so I thought, what better way if I just want to send a card to somebody to say, I'm thinking of you. So what I'm going to do is I am going to stamp, there's this really nice stamp, and then it's in this Enjoy the Moment. It's a little note. So I'm going to put that on this part here, and I'm actually going to put it on with Pear Pizzazz. I mean, with Old Olive. Now, this has got a lot of stuff around it, so you got to be so careful that we don't get a halo on it. So the best way to stamp that is like this and not get that halo, but of course I did. Okay, now because I'm using the camera, I'm going to have issues, I'm sure, stamping this. Let's see how that works out. Not bad. And then I'm going to pop that up. I'm going to put it there, and then I'm going to pop this part up so that it goes off of the card, but we'll do that once we've got the card together. Now again, like I said, I was going to do some stamping on the inside, so let's go ahead and quickly do that now. Now it's funny, where do you put your stamped image? Do you put it on the right side? Do you put it on the left side? Like, where do you put it? Like I say, I tend to go from the left side because I read from the left to the right, right? And a lot of people put it on the right side. I don't think there's any right way of doing it. So this one I'll do on this side. And we're just going to quickly go in and stamp those other images. Let's see. There. And then we're going to go in with our So Saffron. I'm going to close these up. I have that So Saffron right here. Oh, there we go. And we'll just stamp these here as well. And then at that point, I can do my words on there or whatever way I want to do it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put that on the inside of my card as well. And then let's just put that in there. It just reminds me so much of spring. I just love that. Now, this is the part that we're going to do for the folder card. So I've gone ahead and I've scored 2 of these pieces, and I've scored them right in half. So I've scored them on the short side at 1 inch. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this onto this card with these flaps out. Now, I could use tear and tape, but I think I'm going to use, I don't know why I have such a hard time. There we go. I'm going to use glue on this particular one. I used tear and tape on the other one, and I didn't have enough wiggle room was what my problem was. Just want to come in and I want to get, just going to put that in like that. Line it up. And now I've got a tiny bit of wiggle room, so I can just maneuver it around a little bit. And now I'm going to put this side over there. And let's put that on there. And now I'm going to use my bone folder to make sure I've got that good and creased down. And then that last piece, we're just going to sit and put it on there like so. So let me just grab my glue here. Like I say, the only reason I'm using this, well, it's a really good adhesive, but I like the ability of a wiggle room on there. So let's just go and put that on there like so. There we go. So now we have it where it's like this. We want to let's let that sit for just a tiny bit, and let's decide what else we're going to put maybe on the front of this card. I do have some Daffodil Delight ribbon that's retiring, or what I probably could have done so that it's not quite as stark is I could use this wrinkled ribbon. And let me go in and I'm just going to take a dark So Saffron blend, and I'm just going to take this end and just color this. I find the darks work the best on the ribbon. Let's just do that, and then I can tie a bow. So I might have to tie a little bit more, but I'm just letting that white that I glued here dry just a little bit more. That's, I guess, where the tear and tape is better in that instance. So when you're tying your bow, you want to make sure it's tight, but also that it's even, right? So just going to pull this, get a good feel for it. And I'm probably going to have to go in and color a little bit more. And I will, but this way I'm not wasting a lot either. So let me just go here and color this bit as well. All right. Now come in with my scissors. This ribbon is very staticky. It's nice when you use the blends on it because it kind of takes away some of that static. Let's just pull that down just a bit more and cut this off. And we're going to put that on with a glue dot once we've got all of this mechanism all put together. All right, so now what I want to do, this is going to work as a sliding. So when we put this in here, on here, just like so, in this part here, what it's going to do is it's going to slide up and down. Just like so. And it's going to be a bit of a tighter fit on there. But I want to glue this onto here. So I put it onto the card. Let me just go in and score this just a bit more. I'm going to put the glue on there, or I could use tear and tape. And I think really tear and tape at this point might be a good idea. I'll just put some tear that part off. Let's just use some tear and tape right here and right here as well. And you know what? I could probably even put some tear and tape right down the middle. And I think that might be a good idea as well. Like I say, we want this on here really, really well so that it doesn't have the chance to pull off. Let me just take that off. There we go. And now what we're going to do is... How did that happen? Oh, that's... This is my Post-it note tape. I wondered what that was. Okay, so we're just going to put this, center this in the middle here. Get it down. And now, this is how we're going to just, we can slide it down. I just find it easier to just pull it apart like that and put it on there. So there's the front of our card. You want to pull that up. Now, the beauty of this too is you can then, at this point, is position where you want this part to go. But you can't be pressing down on here because it's not going to move freely. Whereas if it's opened a little bit, it will. It's just perfect that way. So I think I'm going to I can put this like this. So you know what? I'm going to have that freestanding on that part there. So let me just put this right about here. And let's use a glue dot to put our bow on. I like this better than, this bow better than that Daffodil Delight ribbon. I just found it was a little too bright for it. Let's put that right about there. And I thought, well, you know what? We could gussy it up a little bit with some gems. So I wasn't sure whether or not if I should use, I'm going to color them, of course, if I should use these ones or these faceted gems. And I thought these were a little too big. So I'm going to go in with these faceted gems, these ones right here. And I think I'm going to have to take a darker yellow, which would be my Daffodil Delight. Or maybe even... Dark Melon Mambo is retiring, so there, that might work. And let's put just one there. But these blends are retiring. let's just go ahead and put this up here. So I think we'll put one there. I'm going to put one just down here as well. And then we put another one here. Let's just put it. It's not giving us a triangle, is it? I think if I put it down there, I'm going to end up moving one of these out of the way. I'm going to put it like that, and like that is going to give me my triangle. Funny triangle, but it's giving me my triangle. Just the same. No, I want this. There we go. There. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. Like I say, it's a simple slider card. It just goes up and down. It uses this inspiring iris. And what a great spring card, right? So I hope you enjoyed that. Now, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, give me the thumbs up or leave a comment or ask a question. That's great. Also, if you live in Canada, I'd love to be your demonstrator. I have host codes available. I give away tutorials each and every month. And I also have a very generous online ordering rewards program. So, like I say, I hope you enjoyed that. Have a great day, and I hope I've inspired you to make a sliding gatefold card. Bye for now.